Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today I decided that I wanted to work on my sketchbook and I'm working on Tapia art. Draw this in your style. By the way, you can check it on Instagram. I think it's still, I don't know if it has like due date, but you can go there and find it. I decided to work with this character because I really love the pose and also the colors, and I decided why not work with the acrylic marker set that ARRTX sent me to try. The set have 36 colors, and I had like an idea of which colors I wanted to do because of course we have it on the, on the drawing itself of the challenge. And I saw that after doing all the, all the, I don't know how to say this, the swatches, that by the way I didn't add it because I think it's very boring to add people swatching colors, and 36 colors really made me spend a lot of time doing it. So I found some of the colors that could work perfectly fine to match with the original piece, which is nice because I tend to change a lot of the colors while I do my process, my painting process on digital. So it's nice to have like a range of colors to create like different illustrations. Before jumping to the painting, I want to say that I'm using the ARRTX 72 saturated colors for the sketching part, and also I think they work so fun, and I will do like another review video for them in the future. So let's start trying these markers. I have to say guys that I really love it to work with them. Normally acrylic markers is not a medium that I tend to work with because I say it a lot of times when I work on my sketchbook that I'm still learning. I have been mostly a digital artist, so I have focused myself on knowing how to paint digitally, but I didn't have like the same like when I paint on on my sketchbook. So basically I have issues when I need to create like color palettes because I find some limitation to them, because obviously the colors that the sets are the sets and they come with the colors that they came. So it's really a hard work for me to work on the sketchbook, but I'm happy because I'm learning. And also that's why I sometimes try to work on draw this in your style challenges while I work on the sketchbook, because I focus myself more in the color combination on the colors that I already have and try to match them with the ones that they came with the set. So basically this is the thing that I did here with this drawing. The acrylic marker set from ARRTX came with 36 colors, which I think it's quite nice. Sometimes when I receive like this kind of boxes and I see the colors, I said, okay, here it's impossible to be 36 colors. I think that visually it looks less than it was. But it's true that when I started swatching them, I knew that it was a lot because it took me so long to swatch the 36 colors. But they are like, you have like a high variety of hues from the same. For example, we have like 4 colors for yellow and oranges, pinks. So I think we cover like a lot of things. Also, I think you have a few colors to create like color schemes if you work with a more realistic look. For example, this pink, this is the pale pink. Well, I don't know exactly the name because it didn't say it. I mean, it comes with a sticker with the code, the color code, but actually you don't have like a color name for that, which honestly I don't care. I mean, I see the cap of the marker and I know which color it is. So you have like this pink, also you have like this coral pink, like a darkened pink. That is the one that I'm using to create like this gradient, if I may say. I don't know how to do it or explain it. Basically I wanted to create like some gradient and texture on the on the character. This is a thing that I didn't try before with other markers because I think it's difficult to work with, the typical Posca pen round tip that it's super hard to draw with. So I don't know, guys. I was enjoying doing this. Also, I tried in several drawings to create more gradients and use a more painterly style with these brushes. And also, I'm quite happy with the result. So if you want to try an experiment, I think these brushes are quite good for that. So returning to the colors. We have a huge variety of them. It's true that I think it lacks from darkened hues. For example, we don't have like a super dark blue or a super dark green or brown. So I asked them if they had planned to create like a more bigger set with these hues that sometimes I needed. Basically because my style, I like to work with contrast, and I know that for some people these colors it's going to be okay, but for me I just I work with the contrast. I mean, I'm used to work with digital, so for me contrast is it's something important. So they told me that they plan to release a 60 color set, so maybe there will be I could find like my all my needs fulfilled. About the color coverage, I think it works pretty fine. Even the lighter colors, they cover very well like the page. You have seen that it is very impossible to see the sketch. We can see something on the face, but for me it's nice because sometimes I need the sketch to see what I've been painting, or what I need to paint, or what I mean, what it's underneath the paint. For me it's okay. It's true that colors, the more darkened colors covers much better. You can see the blue, it looks pretty fine. And about about how the paper harms, or the harming of the paper, I have to say that I didn't feel any. And this is very interesting for me, because one of the things that I hate about the other kind of markers, acrylic markers that has this tip, very solid tip, is that you have the feeling that you are scratching the paper instead of painting. And I think that for people who wants to paint, for example, on plastic or on rocks, or on walls, something like that, it's fine. This kind of tip, that is harder. But when you plan to paint on paper, I think they have to be softer. And the tips for these brushes are quite nice. I think it's the most interesting part of the brushes. Like, I never tried before an acrylic marker with this kind of tip. I have like alcohol markers with this tip. Also, I have the same issue there with the alcohol markers, like the hard tips. I think they are not meant to be for me. And I never tried these brush tips in the acrylics, and honestly, guys, it's really a game changer for that. For people who enjoys painting on paper. Actually, I said in the beginning, but I'm using the mixed media pad, so the paper is quite thick. I will say that for this kind of paint, I try to use a thicker paper. Also, mixed media is fine, and it really, it really looks very smooth, and it's also very smooth when you paint. So basically, you can see that this lilac that I put on the top is the hardest lilac I had. So probably what I did, not probably, what I did is that use the black to create contrast. Also, I tried to work with different layers. I also tried to do some kind of gradient on the hair. And I don't know, guys, if you can see it very well, but is there. I did it. From a green blue to the more saturated blue. And I use another of the darkened blues to make like the air strands and create some shadows, and also trying the coverage or how the paint works with, on top of the other paint. I had issues with that when painting with other markers like I'm going to see the Posca, but also I had tried other markers that they sent me in the past, but they were very similar to Posca on the tips, and you know, it was very difficult to paint on top of the paint because it was a little bit wet, and then you smudge the paint and it disappears. So the experience for me with markers or with acrylic markers, it hadn't been the best until now, I have to say. And it's nice to see that it is not because of me, but only because the tip that it was not the best for me. So also with this brush tip, you can do like the outline. You see that I did it very wobbly. I'm very bad. If you have you know, good hand for doing this, then it's going to look better. As I said, I'm not a super experienced painter on the sketchbook and also on the medium, but I'm trying, and also I found really, you know, rewarding working on that. So also you can use like the different hues for creating, you know, trying to work on the line art and make it more interesting, creating like different you know, reflections or something like that, you know, putting some shadows on there, and also on the skin and on the air. So you know, I think they work really, really well when you put a coat of paint on top of it. So for me, these brushes have turned to, you know, they have turned to discovering a new medium, and also a medium that I want to combine with other kind of mediums, you know what I mean? I really want to explore more how to put like pencils or acrylic markers or alcohol markers in the same bag and drawing, and see what happens there. Because I think that we can use, I mean, we don't have to draw everything with, you know, markers, basically, because my style is not that way. But I'm really enjoying, and probably I will be better with time and practice. And I don't know, guys, I'm really, very happy with the result of this drawing. Even it's not, you know, the best one, but compared to the things that I did in the past, I think I can tell that I'm just proud of it. Also, I'm working with the black, as I said before, and I didn't, you know, I really like how it looks. I also tell you that, but now you can see what I meant. I don't know, I think it was lacking of contrast, and the black made, you know, solve this problem in some way, but probably with you know, darken colors or darken blues or purples or greens, I will do that differently. But I'm happy with the result. Also, I'm happy to be trying, you know, working with the black. Black is not a color that I tend to use a lot on my drawings, neither in the sketchbook and also neither on the on my digital art. But it's true that I'm finding some reward with working on this you know, on paper. I've been trying to do that with another kind of illustrations or portraits made with alcohol markers, and also the outlining with black, and I'm quite happy. The last thing I wanted to try with this drawing, it is simulating a little bit more and playing a little bit more with the outline, you know. So you see, I'm covering the actual line art that I made, not line art, but you know, the lines that I made on the skin with other colors like pinks and cyan color, you know, cyan blue. And I really think that it looks so nice. And finally, the last step is just creating the background. I wanted to see how difficult it is to paint with this brush, but actually I like it because I like to, you know, I like to work with the fine tips. I think I have more control of what I do, even, you know, instead of working with the thick ones. And I think, you know, I love the final illustration, guys. I don't know, what do you think? Also, the white color is amazingly well covering everything, which I really appreciate, because sometimes when I want to create like some, you know, reflections and this kind of things, it's difficult. The jelly pen with the Sakura jelly pen, it's very difficult to do that, so I'm happy that I can do that with the acrylic markers. So I hope you like this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, hope you consider these brushes if you want to start experimenting with them and painting on your sketchbook. And see us again in another video. I have more markers from other brands to try. So probably we can make in the end like a review of or a comparison of which ones are the best for you. Bye guys, and see us again on the next video.